Have you ever felt like you're living for the approval of others? Like your worth is measured by the number of likes, compliments, or social validation you receive? You're not alone. Society is constantly watching, judging, and scrutinizing. We are bombarded with expectations from family, friends, and even complete strangers on social media. One wrong move, one unpopular opinion, and suddenly you're an outcast. But here's the truth. The Stoics understood centuries ago. External validation is a trap. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This video will show you how Stoicism can free you from the chains of public opinion. By the end, you'll understand how to build an unshakable sense of self-worth, develop inner courage, and live a life based on your own value, not society's fleeting applause. Let's dive in. Social media has rewired our brains. Every like, every comment, every notification gives us a dopamine hit, reinforcing the idea that our worth is tied to public validation. It starts as a harmless habit, but quickly turns into an addiction. We begin checking our phones first thing in the morning, seeking reassurance. We post, not because we want to, but because we need acknowledgement. The number of likes dictates our mood. A single negative comment overshadows dozens of positive ones. And over time, we stop making choices for ourselves. We start living for the approval of others. Seneca warned against this when he said, "You want praise from people who kick themselves every 15 minutes? You want to be admired by people who don't even admire themselves?" The Stoics understood that seeking external validation is a losing game. The crowd's opinion shifts with the wind, and basing your self-worth on it makes you a slave to their approval. The only way out is to cultivate an internal source of validation. Instead of measuring yourself by likes or applause, measure yourself by your actions, your integrity, and your discipline. What matters is not how many people approve of you, but whether you can look in the mirror and respect the person staring back. Next, we'll explore how to build unshakable self-worth from within. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in Rome, wrote in his private journal, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." This is the paradox of human nature. We want to be free, yet we willingly hand over control of our emotions to others. But the Stoics taught that real self-worth comes from within, not from public opinion. Instead of chasing approval, the focus should be on building character. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus all emphasized that self-worth is tied to virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and discipline. These are the qualities that define a person, not the opinions of the crowd. There are practical ways to cultivate this mindset. One of the most powerful is daily reflection. At the end of each day, ask yourself, did I act according to my value? Did I let external opinions dictate my behavior? If today was my last day, would I be proud of how I live? Writing these reflections in a journal, as Marcus Aurelius did, forces clarity. It shifts the focus from seeking approval to seeking self-improvement. Another key practice is evaluating actions based on personal values rather than public perception. Before making a decision, ask, am I doing this because I believe in it or because I want validation? If the answer is the latter, reconsider. Lastly, use feedback for growth, not for self-worth. Criticism can be useful, but it should never define you. The Stoic way is to take what is helpful, discard what is useless, and move forward with integrity. True confidence doesn't come from others believing in you. It comes from knowing that you are living in alignment with your values, regardless of who is watching. Next, we'll explore how inner courage is the foundation of self-mastery. Courage is often misunderstood. Many think it's about grand gestures, running into battle, taking extreme risk, or facing physical danger. But the Stoics saw courage differently. True courage is the ability to live according to your value, even when society pushes you in the opposite direction. It means being honest when lying would be easier. It means standing by your principle when everyone around you conforms. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." This is the cost of courage. When you stop seeking external validation, people will judge you. They will question your choice, mock your discipline, and resist your growth. But a Stoic does not fear the opinions of the crowd. A Stoic fears living a life of quiet regret, shaped by the expectations of others. Building inner courage starts with facing your flaws and fears head-on. The things we avoid, difficult conversations, uncomfortable truths, personal weaknesses, are precisely what we must confront. By acknowledging them, we take away their power. Another key practice is acting based on inner value rather than societal pressure. When making decisions, ask yourself, am I choosing this path because it's right or because it's easy? Would I still do this if no one were watching? If I let fear decide, what would my life look like in 5 years? Courage is not about eliminating fear. It is about act despite fear. The Stoic way is to observe emotions rationally, resist impulsive reactions, and move forward with purpose. Next, we'll challenge another modern misconception: why vulnerability is not weakness, but strength. Modern culture equates vulnerability with weakness. People are taught to hide their fear, suppress emotion, and project an image of constant strength. But the Stoics saw things differently. Seneca wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." To be vulnerable is to face reality as it is, without illusion. It means accepting that fear, pain, and uncertainty are part of life. It is not about surrendering to emotion, but about understanding them. A Stoic does not run from discomfort. Instead, he uses it as a tool for growth. Vulnerability is powerful for 2 reasons. First, it fosters deep self-reflection. When we admit our struggle, we gain the clarity needed to overcome them. Pretending to be invincible prevents real growth. A Stoic acknowledges his limitations, then works to improve them. Second, it strengthens relationship. Honesty builds trust. When we stop wearing masks and start being authentic, our connections with others deepen. People respect those who are real, not those who pretend to be perfect. There are practical ways to apply this. One of the most important is accepting what is out of our control. We cannot dictate how others see us. We cannot avoid every hardship. What we can control is how we respond. Another key practice is using emotions as a guide rather than a force that dictates action. Instead of suppressing fear or anger, observe them. Ask, what is this emotion teaching me? What belief is causing it? How can I respond wisely instead of reacting impulsively? True strength is not about appearing untouchable. It is about facing reality with courage, honesty, and wisdom. Next, we'll explore how Stoic practices build resilience, turning every obstacle into an opportunity. Resilience is not about avoiding hardship. It is about developing the strength to endure and grow from it. The Stoics believed that suffering itself does not harm us. Our perception of it does. Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them." A resilient mind is not one that avoids pain, but one that transforms it into wisdom. Stoicism offers practical strategies to build this unshakable mindset. The dichotomy of control teaches that we should focus only on what we can influence: our thoughts, actions, and choices. Everything else, from other people's opinions to random misfortunes, is beyond our control and should not consume our energy. When facing adversity, ask, am I focusing on what I can change, or am I wasting energy on what I cannot? Daily reflection sharpens awareness. Instead of reacting emotionally to difficulties, take time each day to analyze how you handled challenges. Did you act with wisdom and composure, or were you ruled by impulse? Small, daily improvements lead to long-term resilience. Perception management is another essential practice. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Instead of seeing obstacles as setbacks, train your mind to see them as opportunities for growth. A rejection is a chance to improve. A failure is a lesson. Hardship is the forge in which character is built. Premeditatio malorum, or negative visualization, is the practice of mentally preparing for hardships before they happen. By imagining worst-case scenarios, we reduce fear and increase our ability to handle difficulties with composure. Amor fati, the love of fate, is the final step. Instead of resisting what happens, embrace it. Everything in life, good or bad, is an opportunity for growth. When you stop seeing life as something that happens to you and start seeing it as something that happens for you, resilience becomes second nature. Next, we'll discuss why focusing on your own path is the key to true freedom. Most people live as if they are running a race designed by someone else. They chase promotions they don't want, buy things to impress people they don't respect, and follow expectations that were never theirs to begin with. The Stoics warned against this trap. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live. To live fully, one must walk his own path, not the one dictated by society. This requires clarity, discipline, and the courage to ignore distraction. The first step is avoiding the noise of societal expectation. Many people live reactive, constantly adjusting to the opinions of others. But a Stoic is proactive. He decides what matters to him and moves forward, undisturbed by external noise. Another key principle is taking responsibility. A Stoic never blames the world, fate, or other people for his circumstances. Instead, he asks, what can I control? What is my next move? By shifting focus from complaints to action, he regains power over his life. Personal authenticity is the final pillar. Living according to your values means making tough choices. It means saying no to distractions, cutting out what does not serve you, and embracing solitude when necessary. The goal is not to please everyone, but to stay true to yourself. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. At the core of Stoicism is a simple truth. True fulfillment does not come from external validation. It comes from living with integrity, guided by wisdom, courage, justice, and discipline. Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. Every challenge, every criticism, and every moment of doubt is an opportunity to strengthen your character." The Stoic path is not about seeking approval, but about becoming someone worthy of respect by your own standards. Apply these principles daily. Cultivate self-worth from within. Face discomfort with courage. See obstacles as fuel for growth. Live by your values, not by the expectations of others. The world will always have opinions. The question is, will you let them define you? Leave a comment sharing one Stoic practice you will apply in your life. If you found value in this video, subscribe for more insights on self-mastery and resilience. Your path is yours alone. Walk it with strength.